I just put together, because I'm a Gamma fan, so I was looking for kind of an outline for this meeting. So I put together a little Gamma app, and let's see if I can share that. And so we won't use it as kind of like a, this is exactly what we're going to do, but like more like a guide kind of thing. So, all right. Now it should be in presentation mode. Okay, yeah, so I just put this little Gamma app together, which is a presentation. If you haven't used Gamma, like, it's pretty awesome. Like, you could just put in some keywords, or you can put in like exactly what you want on the slides, and it will, make a slideshow for you, or a presentation, like a PowerPoint kind of thing. And so that's what I did. So this is what we got. So what we're going to be talking about is hopefully we need everyone's input on this, because I don't think there is a one size fits all answer. And we are all levels of neurodivergence here. So what works for one person may not work for another person, but someone may say something that you think like, oh my God, that's the tip I've been waiting for the past 10 years. So we're going to look at how the best ways we can come up with for organizing custom GPTs, images, songs, code, like whatever you want to organize around AI, because this is overwhelming all of us. So the challenges, as we see, are, okay, sorry, I got to move my little screens around so I can see. Cross-platform storage. So we have Midjourney, we have Suno, we have OpenAI, we have a million different programs we're using. And it not only do you have all different places that you make these things. I'm sorry, not only do you have all the different types of AI you can use, you have different places that you can make these things. So, for songs and stuff, we've got Suno, we've got Udio, you say potato, I say potato. We've got Refusion, all those things. So where do I go to find, where did I make this song? I can't remember. And my biggest thing is trying to, when you need to credit something, did I make this image in Midjourney, or did I make it in DALL-E, or did I make it in whatever? And it's so I've started putting those things in my file names. Maybe we'll talk about that later. And that plays into this metadata inconsistency. So there's different platforms use different tagging systems, and so it's hard to find hard to find anything with search. We might need to have multiple iterations. I know with custom GPTs, I want to be able to, if I make a change and it doesn't work the way I expected to, I want to be able to go back to my previous version. So how do we track versions? And some of us may be working in teams. There might be, you might be using it for work, you might be using it personally, but with a group of friends. So how do you share those things across your teams as well? Okay, hang on. Go, sorry. Then let's see, cross-platform organization strategies. So maybe it's a good idea to create a single home for everything. You could use Notion, Airtable, Google Drive. There's any number of things out there that you can use. Then standardized naming conventions. I know this from working in the corporate world. If everyone's calling everything something different, then you have no hope of ever finding it again. So, like I said, if I create my images and I put Midjourney before the name, then I might have a better chance of finding it if I know that I've created it in Midjourney kind of thing. And then you can have cloud storage solutions that automatically back up your AI assets. That's interesting. I'd like it to do that. Version control. So we talked about version control. So I use GitHub for version control. And when Gamma put this presentation together, it gave me some suggestions as well. It said you could use data version control. I had never heard of that. So I went out and looked for it. It's right here. It is an open source and free program. I haven't dug into how to use it because, you know, I immediately saw like data chains and lots of code and GitHub. And so I thought I'll come back to deal with that later. But that's another thing that's out there. So something else to explore and add to your toolkit. Maintain iteration logs, like record your prompts. Like how many of you keep like a log of prompts that you use? I know I have like probably 4 of them in like 4 different places. Do you keep track of your settings, like what you're using to get the best images that you like from Midjourney and or you know another image tool, and like how if you create something and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so good, like why hasn't it been acting like this all along, and then you realize you put in like a really good prompt, you might want to keep that prompt somewhere because you want to use it again. Then there's also prompts that people share. Like I'm subscribed to, I don't know how many newsletters where people often share, you know, prompts that I think, oh, I might need to use that in the future. And so I need a place to store that. Enable AI powered search. I don't know where or what that is yet, but maybe that's something that we can come up with in this meeting. Implement tools that can locate assets based on content, not just file names. Maybe that's something we can build with Lovable. So metadata tagging and tagging best practices. I'll move my little window out of the way so I can read everything again. So to develop a consistent tagging system that works well for all AI platforms, we talked about that before, and we will discuss that as well. Tag every asset immediately after creation to prevent backlog. Yeah. Has anyone got that down? Because I know I haven't. And I keep thinking every time I make something, I'm going to like, you know, tag it and store it right away. But I'll just get back to them at the end of the week. And that never happens. Automate when possible. So tools like Zapier or Llama Index automatically tag content based on characteristics. I know Zapier. I did not know Llama Index. So again, I went out and looked at that one. It looks more like a big corporation tool. So I'm not sure. I didn't dig into it much more than finding the homepage, but you can go out and check out Llama Index. And review periodically. So get rid of your old stuff. Get rid of the stuff you're not using. That is really hard for me because I always think that I'm going to use it at some point in the future. So I don't like getting rid of things. But I have recently started, like with my Custom GPT ideas, I get those sent to me, created a task that sends me ideas for Custom GPTs, and I found a lot of them are duplicated. So I did, yesterday I attempted to go through that list and get rid of all the duplicates, and I think I got rid of 1 out of about 400, and so that one didn't work for me either. That's why we're here, to see what works for some people and not others. And yep. So choose tools that match your workflow. Structured databases like Notion, Excel for metadata. So within Notion, you can upload and export Excel files. So if that's where you like to keep your metadata. Notion is big for me. I'm huge on Notion. I'll show you that afterwards too. And then visual tools like Miro help map relationships. This is actually a good one for if you create blog posts, like if you have a blog, and we know that it helps SEO if you can match up, you know, if you can link one blog post to another post within your website. So I think Miro is a really good tool to help that. And the other one that does really well with that is begins with the O. What's it called again? I just got rid of it because it was too much for me. I prefer Obsidian. That's it. Obsidian. That does that really well. Let's see. Oh, it's not going to ping because I'm on the wrong screen. Okay, so then looking at collaboration and sharing projects. So you can set up cloud-based repositories where team members can access all assets, and that can be just something as simple as a Google Drive, or as complicated as you want to make it. Then if you're sharing stuff, you really need to get those processes like clear in everyone's head, like how they're shared, how they're modified, how they're approved. what your document naming convention is and all that kind of stuff. Use structured comment logs to track critiques and revision requests. That's always a good idea because, you know, if someone goes in and changes something and you don't realize that it's changed or what they've changed and they haven't made a note about it, well, that could just throw a wrench in the works. And then record key decisions about asset selection and modification. So again, this is more working together, not working like on your own projects. So automating AI project organization. I promise we'll get away from me in a minute, and we will discuss this as we're supposed to. So capture. So this is like a cycle, right? So automatically move assets from creation platforms to central storage. Yes. I don't know if I want to move my images out of, for instance, Midjourney and store them somewhere else. But I do know that I don't want to keep all the images that Midjourney gives me. So, you know, there's a dilemma. And then come up with a process using AI to analyze and tag content based on visual or textual elements, whatever works for you. Sort your assets into appropriate categories and collections. Again, whatever works for you. This is like getting into knowledge management, but if you're working like on your own, like you're just working on your own storage stuff, like whatever works for you is fine. Implement vector databases for semantic search. Okay, it's like if you're building an LLM for yourself, yes, you can create vector databases, but that's going a little heavy on like some of us who are like not at that stage yet. And then continuously improve your organization based on your usage patterns. So you don't want to have to go digging for something that's like at the bottom of a pile or the bottom of a list if it's something that you use all the time. You want to kind of float that stuff up to the top. Legal and ethical considerations. That comes down also to like, you know, where I say I need to remember like what tool I use to create what kind of thing. So document the ownership status of each AI generated asset and note whether it's for personal or commercial use. This is like not so much for AI, but I know like with my 3D printing, if I have a number of Patreons that I subscribe to and I have commercial licenses for those. So if I don't remember when I store that file, which Patreon I bought it through, I have to I have to credit that designer when I sell that thing. So if I don't know where it came from, then I might as well not sell it because I'm going to get in trouble with someone. And then there are things that you can print that are just like open source to everyone. And it's just not ethical to sell those things because it's someone else's design. So if I just print something like, I printed this Lumon sign just yesterday. It was like a free to use model. And like, so if someone says to me, hey, can I buy that from you? I can't sell it because like I don't own the rights to that design, right? So attribution records, so keep those records clear. And that also obviously goes for anything that you're making with AI. Remember where it came from. Develop standards for avoiding biased outputs and document your efforts towards responsible AI use. I think like we talk a lot about the ethical use of AI, so we definitely don't want to disregard that. So your key takeaways, this is the last slide, I promise, then we can start chatting. So whatever we work out today, right, begin with one strategy, something that you learned today. Or maybe something that you're doing that's already working for you, that's fine. Then apply that system to all new assets. So you don't necessarily have to go back through all your stuff, but when you have time, maybe go and dig in all your libraries and like apply that system to those too. But like start now with anything that you create like from today onwards with whatever system you decide. Let technology handle repetitive tasks. I think we're all aware of that. And then, make organization part of your workflow. That is the hardest thing for me to do. So that is the end of that. So I would love to hear what people's thoughts are on how they organize or how you organize your stuff. Anyone?
I don't, which is why I'm here today.
I love it. Does anyone have a good system that they're using that they think would be beneficial to everyone else or to anyone else?
I have a folder.
Just one?
I have Excel. I have my Excel sheet.
You have an Excel sheet? Okay.
Yeah.
I actually have.
I keep everything in the Excel sheet.
Okay. Is it a big, huge Excel sheet or not yet?
Yeah, I did Excel sheet for songs, for lyrics, for everything for his own. The Excel sheet is maybe one for the tools, AI tools, one for the language models by priorities. I have to go to ChatGPT first, per after, and I'm going to DeepSeek, and what is the difference between them? I keep everything in a folder, in Excel sheet folder.
So do you have different tabs? Sorry, my 18-year-old dog is barking. Do you have different tabs for like one for audio and video, one for tools, or is it just all in one spreadsheet?
No, every single spreadsheet has its own categories. Maybe for marketing, I have a sheet for marketing. For branding, how to brand, how to make the good prompt for branding. What is the best tool to have in branding? What is the best elements to have in branding? Every section has its Excel sheet. Until
so
now,
that you can sorry, go ahead.
Until now, I make every single spreadsheet for Excel sheet individually for his own, this is my website, or this is my landing page to know about branding, about marketing, about AI writing, about how to write songs, about what is the best tool for creating image, what is the best every single spreadsheet or every single Excel spreadsheet is individual from its categories. By priorities, I do this until now.
And then do you set it up so that you can search by category if you're trying to find something specific?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Christina.
So I have a tech stack, and I use Excel too. So I have my tech stack, and I have my prompts and everything. And for my tech stack, I have the name of it, the link, the description, the hashtag, and then what I've used it for, if I've used it, right? And then a link to if I've used it. And then for my prompts, I do the name of the prompt, right? The description, and then a link to a successful chat or link to that prompt that I've used, right? So that in the event that I'm searching, I can see, okay, what do I actually use this for? Because it's hard when your chats are 1,000 deep, right, to recall it. So I just put a link to it there, and then I put hashtags because I'm big on generating hashtags so that I can search or whatever. And they're all have different tabs. So I have HR, I have branding, I have strategic, I have innovation, I have everything has different tabs so that I can quickly click in if I need to or add in. And the same with my tech stack. I probably have 20 different tabs as I add in different things and things that I come across that I find invaluable. And these aren't just everything and anything that I come across tech stack. These are usually things that people have said, I use this and this is the particular thing, and I find it extremely useful. Because otherwise,
that you record where you used it, because I have never thought of that. I think that might be a little overwhelming. I don't know, but like you said, you only record it like if it's like if you really want to keep track of it, kind of thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And also when I'm doing iterations, I also, so for my GPTs, I'll take my iteration and then I'll put the date and the time, because I may do iterations 5, 6, 7 in a row, and they have different timestamps. So I just timestamp them so that I can go back and find the timestamp. I did this the other day, and I probably did 6 iterations, but I remembered there was one iteration that I really liked, and instead of just having the day, I had a timestamp so I could go back and find that one iteration within the day.
That's really cool. I like that.
I also take screenshots of everything and anything, and I put it within, because I lost, because ChatGPT, you can't see all of your pin GPTs anymore. You have to put the @
Yes.
in.
Yeah.
So I go in and I try and screenshot so that I can even remember what I'm looking for, right? So I have visuals, and I take visuals of my GPTs, and I just keep visuals, because we don't always know when things could just disappear.
Correct.
And so
Yeah.
I always want visuals, and I do the same thing with things that I do that are my work, my intellectual property, that unfortunately reside on their property. And so I take pictures so that in a case it goes bye-bye, just the Notebook LM, I do the same thing. I take visual screenshots to make sure I know everything I put into it in case it disappears.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. Larry.
That was really thoughtful, Christina, and gave me a bunch
Yes.
of ideas. And I'm not going to share anything too crazy, but the tech stack is the one thing I do keep track of. And in going through my taxes and all of my expenses, I did find like subscriptions too that I didn't even know I signed up for that would have renewed. So in my tech stack, I keep track of if it's monthly or annual and the date that it renews, because then I can figure out, like you say, you have that thing about how much you're using it, or do you, because I need to be keeping an eye out, what should I be canceling and what am I should not be paying for right now.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Never thought of that.
That's what we're all here. I love it.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
And it all came from taxes, like, oh my God, I'm paying for that? I had no idea.
Yeah. I just realized yesterday, oh my God, I've been paying $45 a month for a hosting service that I don't have any websites on. Like I checked all my websites, like there were like 5 or 6 websites that were hosted in that, but I had already moved them somewhere else, and I've still been paying for over a year for that. $45 a month. Like, oh. Okay. Gwen.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Christina, I loved all that detail that you had and brilliant ideas on what should be recorded. My question is, do you have patience? Because I have trouble, just logging everything and keeping things organized and straight. So, I'm kind of that, I go from one thing to the next. I'm like, oh, I'll write it down, and then I know I'm going to log it or whatever, and I don't. So I'm just wondering how that process works for you.
I am I'm weird. Like, I love the process of doing all of that.
We're all weird, Christina. Sorry, carry on.
I what?
I said we're all weird, so it's fine. You're among friends here.
Oh yeah, I'm very weird. I love doing that. It soothes me. It gives me a sense of control where otherwise there's chaos. And so by doing that, then I have ability to find things where with AI, there's such a dissection of clarity sometimes. So this is my ability to find things that genuinely are important. And because as I'm seeing more and more iterations and more things changing, I'm afraid if we don't start doing things with intention, that a lot of our intellectual property is going to be found or get lost with updates, upgrades, things like that. And we all work so hard in putting our mind and our thoughts and everything into these things. And that's why I started thinking, I need to, just like in business, if you don't, keep every single document that you do with a client, right? Then if a client comes back and says, oh, I never said that, and you don't pull out the piece of paperwork and go, oh, I have that. It's just like that. But, we don't think sometimes of these things in those terms. But this is just as much as important in those instances as work with clients, because you're still building your proprietary information, your proprietary work.
Yeah.
And so I took my logic and the way I worked with clients in doing everything with purpose and with direction of keeping it organized, keeping it in a way that it was methodical, in a way that it made sense, that I could find everything easily. And I started doing that with these models and with my prompts and with my tech stack. And it started to make sense when somebody said, hey, I'm just getting started with AI. What is your suggestion? And I go, hey, here's where I think you should get started. And I pulled up my list because I had my top 10, courses to take that are free for anybody starting off. And I was able to pull that off, right? Instead of going and digging and going, oh yeah, I remember those. What did I take? So it's helped me be a better mentor or helper. And it's also made me better at just doing work. I'm not great yet. There's a lot of room I have to go, but I think it's a foundational start, right?
Yeah.
But I love doing it. I just don't like talking to, I'm not good at, I'm an introvert. Maybe that's why I love it, right?
We've family.
Hello. A couple points. I just love this, by the way. I'm an organization nerd, and this is hitting all my buttons. So one thing that, much like Lori, kind of keeping track of those subscriptions, and one thing that I add to that is for the annual subscriptions, I put a reminder in my phone of just prior to the renewal, because I don't want to be surprised when it's too late for me to cancel that subscription if it's something I'm not using anymore, and all of a sudden I've been charged for that renewal. So just having that on the reminder on my phone, that it's that extra trigger. And then Ron created, and Claude, he created a way to track his song stuff, and it might be a way, might spur some thoughts on how to track some of this. So I'll let him talk about what he created in Claude.
Okay, I'll just try to tell you briefly. I've been writing songs for many years, and as you might guess, I have a lot of different recordings on my phone. I have notes I've taken everywhere. I have Evernotes. I have a lot of folders. Some folders have nothing but text in them. Other folders have parts of songs. And then when Suno came along, now I have folders full of finished songs. And now that I am actually producing songs that are going out onto Spotify, I now have folders of finished songs that are being pushed to Spotify. So it was a mess. So I went to Claude and I asked it to help me create a database so that I could track all my files, not necessarily the information, but the files. And so for every song, I now have a record. And that record, I have different file types attached to it, whether it be a text file, a note file, a simple recording, a finished recording, or even the location of where it's been published. And it does a very nice job for me. I can click on any one of these buttons and it will tell me maybe I have 2 notes on this song, and I have 1 recording. And therefore I know that, okay, I have a loose recording. I need to go work on it sooner. So I actually can use that as a project management tool as well. And it's not that I save any of the information in the Python program. The Python program just is nothing but pointers to wherever they're stored on my machine. So wherever I have to put them, that's where they live, and that's where they can live. And I don't even care anymore. I'm actually thinking, I'll just start dumping everything into one folder, because I don't need to understand where everything is, because the Python code is going to track where it is for me. And whenever I want to open something, I just go to that song, click the button, and it says, oh, you have a text file. I just click the text file and it opens up for me. If I want to hear it and it has the music, I just click the music file and it plays it for me. If I want to know where it is, I just click the distribution button and it tells me this is the address where it's located on YouTube, and I can click that and it'll open YouTube and start playing it for me. So it's kind of fun. It took me about 3 weeks to write it, but I didn't write it full time. I mean, I just play with it every once in a while. But I did it all with Claude. Claude did the whole thing. It was pretty amazing.
I think you might need to share that with all of us, Ron. Are you keeping this to yourself?
It's amazing, and maybe that could be used to track like your GPTs and different things that where you need that structure to be able to recall that information.
Oh yeah, and each record also has a big note field on it too. So like the concept of the song is a note that I can click on, and whenever I click on it, it opens up the full page so I can read the notes on the song. So there's an existing note within the record, but there's also all my pointers, and it tells me how many files are attached of each type too. So I like on a given song, I may have 1 note file that tells me this was my thought process, and then I have another. I'll have a lyric button that I can click. That'll take me to where I've been writing lyrics for the song, and then the next button is recordings, and they're primarily like a quick phone recording that I did, or maybe I actually sat down with my DAW and tried to do a good recording with a guitar. And then the next button is a finished recording, which is now what's coming out of Suno, because Suno is doing better music than I can do. Imagine that.
And he doesn't know how to program with Python. This is all just using Claude.
Yeah,
just
I don't know.
Having a conversation with Claude.
I've never programmed in Python before. I am a programmer, so when I found things I didn't like, I would ask Claude if we could change this, and it would say, okay, go put this code right here. So I've actually learned Python by doing it. But it's been lots of fun. I was just talking to Cece. There's no reason why we couldn't make this more generic or make it more applicable to working with AI and GPTs and prompts. There's no reason why. These could be text. Your prompts could be maintained in a text file. They could become. We can actually make it so that prompts are executable. So when you click on it, it'll automatically execute the prompt. That's probably even doable.
Sounds a lot like the structure sounds kind of like Notion. I use Notion for everything, but like it has those extra layers of like you just hit a button and like it plays the song or it does whatever. So yeah, I love it. Kaki, you're on mute. Oh,
Okay, yep. So I don't know how many people here were doing the journal prompt thing with Leah. So we were doing this journal prompt thing, and back then I only went a few times just because my schedule was crazy. And what I did with that was I put it into 2 things. So one of the topics that we worked on was called human emotions, or to be human. And I was trying to track the amount of time that I'm on AI, just so that for the future I can do it. And so I had date time, how much it took me as a human to document it, organize it, all that sort of stuff, how many minutes, and then I have the platform, so whether it's Dolly or Claude or and then what the prompt was, and then the image, this is just in a spreadsheet, and then the image description, and then a link to the image. It's kind of crazy, but so that was one thing I did. And then the other thing that I did was something kind of similar for some of the prompts that I had, because we did this thing where we would try short prompts and then we would try longer prompts. And I forgot about this, so I'm glad you guys are talking about it. But one other thing that I wanted to mention is that somewhere in the salon, Cindy Kuhn has some documents about creating an AI profile. And it basically kind of just walks you through, like, you know, defining the scope of your portfolio, right? And then gathering the AI project data, and however you want to pull it together, and then how to organize that data into categories. You know, choose whatever format that you want, build and populate. So I recommend definitely to go out and look for that. Again, she called it creating an AI inventory portfolio. So that's another thing. And then I had I couldn't find the conversation, but I did have a conversation with AI. My memory keeps getting full in GPT, about some ways to track some of that. And one of its suggestions was to think about maybe using like an Airtable. And so, you know, I don't think any of us has one perfect way, right? We're kind of making it up as we go. And so I would say, you know, earlier I was better at tracking that stuff, but you guys are reminding me, you know, that I want to do that. And in terms of like organizing, I use Firefox for all my AI stuff, and I set up a separate email for myself just for AI stuff when I was getting started, because I knew it was going to be a lot of information. And that part of it has been helpful for me too. So for whatever that's worth, you know, it's something, it's not perfect, but you know, everybody's got some really great ideas here that I'm really liking, because I'm considering myself right now to start going to mid-sized businesses and doing some strategic consulting, and then also adding AI into that. And so as I'm thinking about how I'm going to organize that and what it's going to look like, I'm talking to GTP about it. So GPT. So that's it.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's the value of like all of us getting together to say, hey, I do this, I do it this way, I do it this way. It's like, I really do like the sound of Ron's tool though, and I think he should definitely license it to the rest of the salon. I had planned on share just like what works for me, because like I have so many, you know, so many things everywhere. I just wanted to like quickly share my Notion, because I know Notion and Evernote are like a lot the same, but I think that like Notion has the like relational databases that I'm just going to go back there because I need to set this on top of it. I think, can you see my Notion or do you still see this? Oh yeah, you can see it, right?
Yeah.
I have like so many things. Like, so every time like I come across a tool, or like it's usually something Kyle says or whatever, like I can use this like up in my top bar. I have like a save to Notion thing, and I save it to my tools and platforms here. And so this has like a bunch of different like tools and whatever. And like within each of those notes, if I tag it with AI, I can sort them like just by AI tools. And then I can, like each one has like like I've set this up, this template, and I don't use all the things for all of the things, but like it has the URL, it has the tags. The status is like if I'm using it, it's like some of those things are like redundant because they all mean the same thing. But anyway, the format is like if it's on a website, if it's a standalone app, if it's on GitHub, Discord, if it's in Terminal, if it's a website, whatever. And then the URL, obviously, for where it came from, if it has a URL, whether it's free or paid or freemium. if I registered with an email, because I have a bunch of different email addresses, like we all do. And so if it's registered with a specific email, or if it's or if I log in through Discord, or I log in with Google or whatever, that all goes in here. I use Setup for like keeping control of everything, like on my computer. Like it's a Mac service where you can download a bunch of different apps through just one subscription, and I have a family plan for that, so that's why that's there. I also I have a website, a web design agency, so if I'm using it on a client site, I will log that in there, how I heard about it, if it's an affiliate program, if I have an affiliate link, I can put that in there, when I purchased it, which will also pop up like the same reminder for when you need to renew it. If there's a community around it, or a social, like if it's on Facebook, or if it's in in Discord or whatever, those all go in there. And then it just pulls in the stuff from the rest of the page. So I won't go through all of them, because some of them have like my API keys and stuff in there, in there like that. But I think that like Notion has such a robust a robust search, and it's very easy to find things. And so I have like my custom GPTs set up, like the GPTs that I've made. I'm sorry, someone was saying something.
Yeah, Vicky, I hope you don't mind my interrupting you for a second. But I've never actually seen Notion prior to you pulling it up on the screen. So when you first go into it, does it have that directory in the center and you set all that up?
You can set it up however you like. So if I was to go back into here and I decided that, when I record something here, I wanted to add like something else that I need to keep track of. If I add it there to this template, it adds it like for everything else.
So it's like a database, like FileMaker Pro used to be.
Yeah, and so like you can view it in all different ways. Like you can view it as a list, you can view it as a spreadsheet. So it starts off like as a spreadsheet. This would be like the original view, or maybe this is the original view. Yeah, and then you just like put in like columns. So those columns become the properties in that hot space kind of thing. And then, where am I? Wrong one. You can just add like whatever you like, and it becomes like, So it's like a relational database as well. So you can relate those things to other things, kind of thing, if that makes sense. Sorry, there are a lot of things in that sentence.
Yeah. No, so basically, you come to it with a black screen and then blank screen, and then you go into tools and platform and you just start populating that. Is that correct?
I think
okay.
So. Let's see. If I go to create a new page, there's a bunch of different things. They actually have AI to help you with stuff. So you can get started with a database. You can just start typing. You can just put in like a title and just start typing. Or there are some different templates that you can pull in for different things. But for a database, I just put in. That's the title. You just type, or you could click on the thing down the bottom. Okay, these are all the things that you can add, right? So I would go to database, and I would say, add this, whatever the main column is going to be. You start with the main column, and then you can just like add different, add like new, what are they? Fields, and they can be like, they have all these different types of fields as well. So you can pick what it's going to be, kind of thing. So yeah, it's super easy just to add stuff. I do have a paid account, but there's a lot that you can do on a free account as well. And this, I was trying to, I've been talking to Laurie and Kelly about this, but like I have my GPT directory, and these are like the ones, I'm still going through them, adding URLs, because I don't have all the URLs in there, but like some of them, I like to keep track of like what's public and what's only available to me, or if I've just shared a link with someone. And I was trying to work out, like, there is a way that you can share. So I wanted to share the ones that were public, so I could just like post this as a web page. And it would just have like, you know, the name and the URL and the description kind of thing, and maybe what it is. And you could go to share and you can create like a shared page there, but I just haven't worked out how to get it so people can't like actually just like dig into, like, because anyone could just like open it like that and just, you know, mess with it, whatever. So because there's a bunch of stuff that I keep in there that I don't necessarily want to make public. So that's one of the things that I use, which I find very handy. So anyone else have it? I know like Evernote's very popular too. Oh, sorry, I'm ignoring raised hands here because I didn't see them when my screen was sharing. I think Laurie was next.
A few questions came up with your presentation, and I'm hoping you can share it again if you're willing to show us some of the fields or the your properties. If you're willing to share us, maybe for those of us who may want to try capturing that type of thing. And also, I think what I wanted to highlight Gwen's question, if her hand's not already raised, because I think it's a good one.
Oh.
Gwen asked, you know what I mean? Why the paid version? What do you get in the paid version that you don't get in the free version?
You know what? I'm not. I went to a shared version because I wanted to, like, you can have a hub where you can invite other people to a workspace. And sorry, I'm trying to share at the same time, and I can't talk and think. You know how we do. I went to a shared workspace because like I was working with, like, my kids were working on some stuff with me. And so like these are like team spaces, right? So like I can invite my kids to work on stuff with me. And also I have, like, they have their own Notion accounts. So like I just pay for everyone's Notion accounts basically. What the actual difference is, I don't know. Let me think. It's just us. Differences between paid and free Notion. No.
I just put a link. I just put a link into the talks directly to information about pricing on Notion online.
Okay, cool. Okay, so free plan, you get a 7-day version history. I know with the paid plan it's longer, but you know, it's bigger. $10 a month or $8 a month billed annually, which I don't think is expensive, but you know, we're being nickel and dime to death by all these subscriptions. But so you have unlimited storage, and that's the same in the free plan. I should have asked it for a table comparing them. Sorry, I didn't think about that at the time. You can collaborate with up to 100 guests. In the free version, you can collaborate with 10 guests, and there's no team collaboration. The version history is 30 days. I don't tend to usually go back to previous versions of stuff, so that doesn't affect me much. AI features not included in the Plus plan, and that's in the $10 a month plan. And advanced database features and integrations. I'm not quite sure what they are, but then there's the business plan is $18 a month. There's no limit to file uploads, 90-day version history, so that's longer. Then you can have unlimited guests and team members. And then you have the team spaces, private team spaces, and bulk exports. So maybe that's what I have. I don't remember. I don't think I pay that much. I don't think I pay $18 a month. But still, I mean, you can like start out on the free plan and then see if that, you know, if that meets your needs, and then if not, bump it up if you need to. I think we'll look at some properties. Waleed.
Vicky, I want to ask a question. What will happen when this Gamma app or this Notion stopped for any reason, or the server is did something wrong with it? What will you can get your data? How could you get your data?
You can export your data, but I have never had any issues with anything going down or being unavailable. See, there's an export button here, so you can export PDF, HTML, Markdown, and CSV. I missed. Did someone else
You
have
can
anything?
export all the data.
Yeah, I think you would need to do it like individually. Like, I don't think you could just like export all the data like from the whole thing all at once. I think you have to do it like individually. And
But
individual.
I think it's better for me to keep my data in my computer. Maybe something wrong with the internet, maybe something wrong with the server. Maybe I have to deal with, I have a deal with the customer and I have to get my work, and there is something wrong and I couldn't fix it right now. But when the data in my laptop or in my sheet or whatever, I can go through it anytime.
Yeah, I think this is where like a system like the one that Ron created would be valuable, because that lives on your computer, right? And you just have those buttons to retrieve your information. I believe. I've just had Notion for so long now. I used to use Evernote, and I just like exported everything from Evernote into Notion. And there are still some things that, you know, I'll search for something and I'll find that it's still in one of those exported files from Evernote, and I haven't looked at it. And then I just like they all sit in like a repository, I guess, within Notion called Cabinet. So if it's in Cabinet, I know that it's something that I haven't used since the Evernote days. So then I'll just like update it to put it wherever I need it in Notion. So, but Laura, you had some questions about the fields.
Yeah, is it possible to get a screenshot from your fields for your custom GPTs and your tech stack?
Oh, for these? Yeah, sure. Like for what's available for each one, you mean? Like what?
For what you used, actually, because at one point you showed like I get free. Is it free or paid for your custom GPTs? Or you showed up the screen and on the right side it listed.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah. So let me go to.
Because it gave me some ideas, and I don't know about anybody else. If I were to try to recreate what you've done,
yeah,
I'm taking your secret sauce.
Yeah, no problem.
Exactly that is what I'm looking for. Give me 1 minute.
Okay, so that one is for the GPTs, but I'll go back to like the tools and you wanted the tools one, right?
Yeah.
It's up here. So the tools, I'll just get back into this one because I know this.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I'm more than welcome. So, and I'll keep like anything that I need that's, you know, to do with that, I will, you know, record that all down here. Like for instance, I think some of them, is it Firefly? Yeah, so Firefly like showed the images. These are all imported like directly from the page. So when I go up here and say, you know, save this page, that goes to Notion. I didn't do it that way. I'm sorry. I just like redid this computer. This is a how do I get out of that? Yeah, sorry, that's not going to go. I don't want to search. I want to cancel. Okay. Sorry. If I'm on a website that I like, so if like this one was obviously imported from the Adobe Firefly site. So I was here on firefly.adobe.com and I used this add to Notion button, and then it just pulled in everything that was on the page.
I really like that.
Yeah. It's just so handy for me.
Right.
And all the different views. I just like, you know, you can look at it like a number of different ways. Like I can list everything that's under AI, like just right in there.
Okay.
Under admin, whatever.
Oh, cool.
Whatever else is in there. There's a bunch. Oh, yeah. So you can like sort things like I did. So this is like everything. And then I can just like filter it on just the AI tools. And then I can create that view for the AI tools.
And so this database is your desktop database then? And so you don't...
It's just whatever I put. This is not my desktop. So this is whatever I want to put into Notion. But like I said, my whole life is in here. So like I built like my homepage has like it has all my personal stuff, and then it has like my to-do list, and then it has my business, and then Tribe was a course that I was doing, and it shows me my calendar right here. And I did have Getting Things Done master list, which is kind of fallen by the wayside because I never come to the homepage first anymore. I just automatically just go to wherever I need to be. So, yeah.
I have a question actually, or something that I just did. This is fascinating, and this is exactly like the kind of thing that I was talking with ChatGPT about. In terms of all of the diversity, and I've been looking for something too for my photography business where I can keep things. But one thing that I did just do is I went out to Gemini to ask about, what are some other similar types of Notion or things like Notion that are available. It of course talked about Evernote, it talked about Microsoft, but then I got one that's called Coda, CODA, another one that's called Base Row, any type, and then Airtable, of course. So yeah, this is pretty cool. It would be nice to have one that's also a desktop, because as Waleed said, sometimes if you don't have access to the internet, because of whatever. Interesting. So thank you for sharing this. It looks like an amazing tool.
Yeah, and I thought I had like a spreadsheet that I had like all my Mid-Journey style references in, but apparently I'd just been like saving them like Twitter post by Twitter post. So and the other stuff is in Google Sheets. I do have this is the problem. This is why I needed this, this session is like a lot of the stuff that I have in here, I also have like in Google Sheets. So I just need to get them all in one place.
Yeah, cool.
So I have two questions. The first is, can it set reminders for you? Because I see all your lists and I'm like, you've got great information in there, but then I'll forget what I have or that I need to get back to and I need to do something.
Yes.
So you can do that. You can set reminders.
Sorry, I need to just stay in there. So I'm trying to like make this not all about me, but let me just get back in there and I will show you. It's very simple to add reminders. I say simple because I don't like to use the word easy, because easy is like not always easy, right? So if I have, let's see, let's go back in here. If I just add a field that says, renew date, say. Okay, so I can add renew date, and then I can make that the type of field would be a date, right? And so the date would be, say it renews on March 29th, and you set a reminder like right here.
Okay. So sort of like you do in your calendar.
Yes. Yeah. And I think I can't remember how those reminders come to me. Like, this is ridiculous. Let me think about that.
Maybe to your email.
That's home. It's my home. I think it probably does come to my email. But I wonder if because your calendar is here too, so it might come up in that calendar.
And on the homepage, you set that calendar up, which is how it appeared there. So the homepage you arrange, these are the things important to me. So it's like your landing page. This is what I'll always come to. Okay.
Yeah. So it has like, if I want to add something under here, that's like let's see, what is there? And so you can embed things. Like if I wanted to embed like a Miro board or a PDF or a calendar, and like this is I think this actually came from, see, there's a ton of things in here that you can embed. I don't have all these things. So this is just like the whole list of things that it's choosing from, right? So I could embed my Slack in there, and they have to log in, obviously. I don't remember what
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how you get these things in here. And they're like other like components that you can find in different places. That I want to just get out of that. That you can find in different places, like in different templates. So when we went to the add a new page before, let's add a database. Nope. Add an empty page, and then you can. There's a bunch of templates that you can pick from. There's a lot of free templates and there's a lot of paid templates. So, like, I don't know what that is, but yeah, a lot of things that people like much smarter than me have designed that you can just like pull in to instantly create a page.
Oh, wow. And can you, this is a really silly question, but you get like Sabrina sends all of her, whatever, her classes that she teaches, the quick classes and all that. And I can't keep up with all those free classes and all that. So you could theoretically create a Notion board to log all those so that as you have time, you can get to them. And it's quick and easy to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I may even have a page of courses. I don't know. Paid courses. I don't know. Courses. So these things, like within a page, like you can just add other pages, right? So if you wanted to add another page, you just go /page and you add another page, and this is like whatever you want to put in that page, and then you'll find that then that is like at the bottom of your list.
Got it. And does it have an AI feature where you can say, hey, this is what I want to do, now go create it for me?
It probably does, and I don't use. Yeah, here you go. Like, how can I help you today? Ask a question, draft anything, brainstorm ideas. Browse the templates. What could Notion AI do? Make a table.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all that stuff.
Wow. And has anybody tried Asana? I think I've heard that one, or Trello, to see how it compares with this. This seems a lot better, but
Do you mean Asana?
yes.
Yeah, I've used Asana, I've used ClickUp, I've used Monday.com, I've used you name it.
So I have, it's not going to show me. I have Trello boards, and I'll show you a Trello board that I imported. I don't want to code. I'm going back to Notion because I made a Trello board and I actually recreated it here. Let's look at this one. I recreated it here because I wanted it in Notion because I didn't want to keep going to Trello. So what this is like, every time I build a website, I have like a template, right? So I go through the template. This is the stuff that I need to see all the time. And this is like how we start building. So if I go into the site configuration and it tells me like all the things that I need to do in there. And then once I've done that, I move it out of there into done. See, it disappeared there, and now it's over in the done column. So that's basically the same as like moving stuff around on a Trello board. And that's just because I've created like the Kanban view. And you can create like different views for, however you need to see stuff. So like this was like, if I wanted to just see everything, then that would be all in there. I can create a table, a board. I can create a timeline. I can put it on my calendar. I can have a list. I can have a gallery. And I can have a chart. And then you can like filter whatever you want in those views when you save the views.
Wow, this is pretty incredible. I wish I had it when I was working my last job.
I wish we had it at work. And we don't, but you know,
I know, I'm surprised it's not integrated into Teams in some form.
yeah. Any more Notion questions before I hop out of here? No, good. We've gone over time, but I'm happy to stick around as long as anyone needs to talk. So if anyone has any other thoughts or their systems that they want to share.
Vicki, I just want to say this is amazing. And I'm so glad that we did this because I think that, you know, when you've got diverse minds and backgrounds that come together, the opportunity for sharing best practices makes our creativity explode. And so I'm just really excited about that. And, you know, I've seen you be really helpful to other people, including me, you know, in the salon. And I just want you to know how grateful we are for it. And the fact I love this session. If we want to do this regularly, I would love that. And, you know, I'm blown away by all the things I'm getting, and it's a really positive thing. And so I just want to say thanks. And I might have some questions about reference styles.
Oh, SRFs, yeah.
I've seen Kyle explain them sometimes, but I'm not always 100% sure how to use them or start using them. I
would make another Learn Out Loud session on SRFs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then
got off on yesterday on digital twins while we were talking about it. So let's do SRFs as well.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you for sending me the link about how to get on and use Discord. That document is going to be invaluable for me. So, because I just haven't been able to figure out yet how to get to Midjourney through my Discord, but
yeah,
there. So,
yeah, I have SOPs for everything. Like, you ask the people, the rest of the people like who are like on the committee, on the, you know, the organizers for the AI salon.
Yeah.
SOPs.
And just one other thing that we could have a topic on is I've been using ChatGPT to post more on LinkedIn. And not just regular stuff, but like, for example, the other day, I think I put it in the salon. I took this beautiful picture out my back door of the snow that was just blanketed over the trees, popped it into ChatGPT and said, give me 5 examples of something I could post this picture with on LinkedIn for a short saying. It gave me 5 and I picked the best example. And I'm like, that's brilliant. You know, so it would be interesting to share some of that because I've been out of work for over a year. It's, I've noticed when I'm posting daily or at least 4 times a week, the views of my profile have significantly increased. So
that's cool. That is really cool.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to discuss today? Claire, do you have any ideas for organizing your stuff? Or did we just overwhelm you?
I pulled up Notion. I'm gonna start looking into that. I'm definitely overwhelmed, but I walked in overwhelmed. So at least now I see some of the options that I think will really be lifesavers. Thank you so much.
Know, like through like Pete's other, you know, Peter Kaminsky's previous sessions, like he's very big on Obsidian, and I saw it, like I had tried Obsidian and like it was too much for me, and I'm like, so I scooched back into my little Notion corner where I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, if there's nothing else, I will go off and create an SREF, a Midjourney SREF session for an upcoming weekend. And are weekends like typically good? I think like we're all looking for something to do when there's no like AI learning lab, right? So, all right, very cool. I will get the recording up as soon as I can.
Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much.